Hello, this is Reverend Rick McCain, and I'm here with my baby, my girl, my boo, author Brenda McCain from the Let's Stay Together show. And I love my wife, but let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen, this is an actor that I love. Mr. Harry Lennix, it is so nice to see you, sir. Thank you for being on the Let's Stay Together show.
Well, thank you, Rick. This is great, and I am honored to be with you and your beautiful wife.
Well, tell us a little bit about the part that you play in the movie 72 Hours.
Well, I have the distinct pleasure and the distinct honor of playing God. So this is the first time for me. I've played a lot of people in power, but never the ultimate power.
Well, you know, as a preacher, it's good to be around God right now. So you've had a lot of credits. You've done a lot of movies and a lot of things. How did it prepare you for this position?
Well, I don't think there's any preparation for this per se, but you know, God is many, many different things to a lot of different people. To that extent, I hope that somewhere, well, I know that somewhere in His scope, there's a little bit of me, and hopefully there's a fair amount of Him in my life. So I'm just tapping into those things. You know, how would I want God to be with me? And so that's really all I'm doing.
Okay, well, I want to chime in and do a little history. Was it Quigley South?
I did go to Quigley Preparatory Seminary South. I studied to be a priest.
Northwestern College.
Yes, that's it. University.
Okay,
because there's two. There is a Northwestern College.
University, and you were a teacher for the CPS system here?
I certainly was. I was a school teacher here for 8 years. I come from a line of teachers. My sister was a teacher and principal for about 30 years.
Now, see, that's of God right there, to be a teacher for Chicago students. I love her stuff. But let's go even further. Let's go back to when at one point you thought you wanted to be a priest. Or was it a Dominican priest?
It wasn't. I wanted to be a Dominican priest. Those were the fathers, the priests who were at my seminary. Of course, there are many different kinds, Franciscans, and Carmelites, and all kinds of things. Wow. But the Dominicans, we held a line on all of the Pope position for some time until this. Now we've got a Jesuit. Okay. But I'm not holding that against you.
Okay, so we have the altar boy, from the altar boy to the Chicago Public School teacher, to this, to God. We just skipped over everything and went to God. See, I love backstories, because our motto is to know our glory, you have to know our backstory. This is truly a backstory in the making, so we know we got great things coming. We heard from everyone else that the movie is going to be awesome, that people will be in a lot of funerals and a lot of tear-jerking, crying going on, but tell us, you asked already, how did you prepare for this ultimate role of playing God? Was there any, did you get any notes from Morgan Freeman and said, well, you play God, I'm playing God, so.
Well, I mostly just sort of told my wife what to do around the house.
Oh, okay.
That's it. So, you know, I love Morgan Freeman. Okay. Morgan Freeman is an actor I've looked up to for a long time. I had the great pleasure of meeting with him and having conversations with him. And of course, I love when he plays just about anything. Yeah. But in Bruce Almighty, you know, those are fun.
Well, I did like how you say you tell your wife things, because I've been married for 20 years and I can't tell mine anything right now. So, yes. But I heard you say something about you as producing something that deals with ministry. What is that?
Well, this is a movie that I wrote and actually executive produced along with a great woman of God. Her name is Holly Carter, Dr. Holly Carter, called Revival. And it is the life and ministry of Jesus Christ told through the narrative of gospel music, a lot of which we know. But you know, to take that great music, it's sacred music, let's face it, spiritual music, but sacred music. It is the most effective tool that we have to tell the story of Jesus. And I think it's been underutilized because we get so used to seeing God who looks different than you and I look. Yeah. And we have taken it and swallowed it whole cloth. And I think that this is about time to get a more accurate depiction, something that speaks to us, because who needs God more than this community right now?
That's true. And so how far back did you go in history for the music for this?
Well, I went back there are a couple of spirituals, one that I like. I think the oldest probably song that we have is "Oh Mary, Don't You Weep."
Oh, yes.
So we took a kind of traditional arrangement. Of course, Aretha Franklin has a very famous arrangement of it, and the Andrew sisters, not the Andrew sisters, Inez, I can't remember her name just now, but anyway, she's a great singer, and so we've taken a lot of that music, but a lot of this is also very brand new. There's a great talent, phenomenal young man by the name of Molly Music. And Molly has written, he plays Jesus, and he's written so many songs for us that I think are going to be instantaneous classics.
So when is that going to be coming out?
Well, we hope it comes out in Easter.
Okay.
So we're prayerful and that somebody will take a look at it and see it and like it. And I think it's a no-brainer.
You know, you prepare yourself for a lot of roles, and you're playing multiple roles. How do you remember all of that information in different scripts?
Well, you know, this is, everybody doesn't have this gift, but I have been blessed with a pretty close to photographic memory. So I can look at something 2 or 3 times and just about, you know, be able to have it. It's, of course, a lot of it is training and practice and so forth. There are little things, you know, mnemonic tools that we use. And I've been able to get, you know, quite a bit of practice in. And so over the course of time, you learn little devices that help you memorize things, but also a good memory is something you can be born with.
Okay, well, I want to go 2 more questions, and then you go
course,
to the
yeah.
baseball
That's
game.
it. Those Sox go.
Five Sox, fine. No, what is the most thing that you're proud of with your work? Is it the work in acting or the work that you do for the community? Like, I know you do a lot of things for Chicago communities, right?
I do. Most of my work now is in Los Angeles, but I am also part of national organizations. I do as much as I can for the city of Chicago here. Father, Mike Flavor, is a friend of mine. He's been very involved in a lot of these drives to decrease the violence and so forth. Minister Farrakhan, of course, has been extraordinarily beneficial and effective in being able to stem the tide of violence. My good friend, Brother Munir Muhammad. So, you know, this is something that has been interfaith, because this problem does not limit itself to any particular faith.
Yeah, that's true.
So we really need to all hands on deck at this point. But I think that my particular gift has been one in dramatic treatment of things. And in terms of writing and acting, I like to be true to the community. That's the thing I do best. But I like to work with people who are experts at people who have been criminalized in many cases because of the circumstances that they're in. So I like to work in conjunction with people who know a little bit better, and I go in as a face of somebody who is a concerned citizen, and that's how I've been most effective.
That's great. You know, one of the things I appreciate about you, that from the time that you came here until now, you have just been just an awesome person, kind, considerate, talking to everybody, and the person that you are. Help a young man out there today that is going into the field of acting. Teach them something about what they need to do in order to be a professional actor such as you. You won't say that, but I will, just as you are.
You know, the Bible tells us to study to show thyself approved unto the Lord.
Right.
A workman need not be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. And so I think that that's extraordinarily important. You have to say, this is a craft. And the great thing is that a craft can be learned. You don't need to be born the greatest actor in the world. You can become that if you diligently apply yourself to the craft and the art of acting. It is a skill, and a skill, unlike a gift, can be used. You know, we look at the story of the talented tenth. They all got the same amount, but they treated it, they applied that talent differently. And it is the one who took a risk on his talent and who thought outside of the box. Somebody said something to me the other day, Reverend. They said that when your expectation, it says when your capacity is not greater than your vision, that you insult God. Right. When your vision is greater than
I'm using that in a sermon now. I'm preaching Saturday, so I'll probably use it in a sermon.
Right.
I like that. I've got to ask this question because I know I don't watch a lot of television, but I do watch whatever you're on. And I watched The Blacklist. And you may not be able to answer this question, but in the end of the scene, you get hurt. And it didn't tell us if you were going to be coming back. I need to know, as a Blacklist person who loves the show, are you coming back? Can you tell us you're coming back?
Well, let me first correct my statement before. I think it's if your vision does not outpace your capacity, you insult.
Okay.
Right. So you have to have a greater vision of yourself than your ability to fulfill that. with regard to the blacklist, I will be back.
Amen. Thank
I will
you.
be back. I shall return. And I don't know for how long, I don't know.
Oh, they need you there. I mean, you're
Right.
doing an excellent job in that. I can't wait to see it every time we come on. So I'm happy to hear about that.